first question to you, Shinto, is what made India and China grow tremendously, even in an unpleasant global economy? What were those success factors for us? So, how exactly you will define these two economies and their growth story, even though we know that the world was always in a little sad moment and last 10, 15 years has been little topsy-turvy for all of us. But still, if two economies are able to clock a growth beyond 5%, I think we can call that out. Shinto, what exactly is your take?
We had an outstanding growth trajectory. I fully agree with you. And a couple of advantages which we had was one is the demography, the youth. Okay. Both the countries had an young population. Youth normally brings in energy. To be frank, most of my friends are young guys. They make me charged up, and their way of thinking is totally different.
Okay.
And even in my office also, most of the IT crowd, tech crowd are mostly.
I feel like how energetic people would be there. So that's a different thing. We can definitely talk about it much more.
So the mindset of an young economy, brings in a lot more energy. That is the first thing. Second thing is, I think both these countries started investing on human capital. Is it sufficient, at least in the Indian context?
Mm-hmm.
I'm having doubts, but then little bit we invested on the human capital.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever you invest on human capital, naturally they start improving productivity.
Mm-hmm.
So we also started looking a little bit on outbound, as I call it. If you look at India as a country, we are culturally we going as an inward economy. If you go back to our Vedic philosophies also, we always used to say, look inward, see the Atma within us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's if you look at yoga, all these things basically look inside rather than look outside.
Yeah.
So that is actually our traditional path. So we slightly started looking outbound,
mm-hmm.
and probably China did further. So they had the cost advantage in manufacturing. We had the skill advantage in terms of services. So both countries had a different trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
Did both the countries follow the right path? Like n number of questions can be raised.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you look at basic economic principle,
mm-hmm.
after agriculture, somebody has to go to manufacturing, then to services. That is a natural progression of growth.
Mm-hmm.
We just skipped the manufacturing. Mm-hmm. We jumped from agriculture economy, we straight away went to service economy. Mm-hmm. Whereas the China then from agriculture to manufacturing. Now probably they are trying to add services or other factors on the top of it. So both the countries had different trajectories. And today, if you ask me what India is trying to do is fill that gap. Sure. We are trying to look at the manufacturing, missed the bus. We're trying to catch it now.
Sure.
So both had different trajectories. Both had cost advantages in these spaces. But then the interesting part today, where we are today, is both their dynamics or cost advantage are under questionable situation today. Mm-hmm. China's manufacturing was driven by primarily a disciplined labor force available at a throwaway salary.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Peanut salary was available to those people, and the world took advantage of it.
Yeah.
In our today's salary of an average Chinese labor, it is probably on an average 3 to 4 times of an Indian labor.
Absolutely.
Okay?
That's good. Okay? That's being a democratic, I think that's good area that we have.
So our labor salary levels are very low, whereas on the services front, in tech world, IT and all those things, our salary got multiplied. Yeah. So we have lost the salary, the cost advantage on our so-called service business.
Yeah.
IT is under question. I mean, our existing low-cost service provider, that is under question right now. Yeah. The IT sector is now looking at revamping their business models. Correct. So China has got another problem. The salary levels have gone up. They probably will relook the whole thing from a different angle. Yeah. Maybe they might automate the whole thing. That's what they might look at. Put AI, robots, those kind of things to So for every country, the long-term survival depends upon, we call it finding the what do you call it? The economic advantages.
Sure.
And for that country, and for example, I'll give you a classic example. US was facing a questionable time as far as the way forward time. That's the time they came with the tech boom. The boom driven by internet revolution has taken US economy to a different level at some point of time.
Correct.
Now they need to come up with something new to take that economy to the next level. So it is the responsibility of every country to come up with something that is taking their country to the next level. So we had one advantage, we took the advantage. China had that advantage, took it. Now, I think both the countries are back to square board to rethink what is the next goal forward.